Hi guys, this is Ashley Thompson, the author behind Ella's Greatest Adventures, and today I'm going to be sharing with you her second greatest adventures, The Art of Joy. Stay tuned and join us on So Booking Cool.
So fucking, so fucking, so fucking cool.
There's so much fucking cool to listen to So Fucking Cool.
Welcome to So Booking Cool, it's Joel B. Are you ready for faith, fun, and discovery? Today's guest founded Ella's Greatest Adventures to encourage you to overcome fears and discover God's love through colorful storytelling. The children's brand stars the main beloved character, Ella McCutie, who loves to explore and overcome her fears, such as in the first book, Peace at the Dental Office. Now, her next adventure can be found in the new book, The Art of Joy, again illustrated by Cristine Evaristo. Back with us today is scientist, entrepreneur, speaker, author, and host of the Everyday Adventures and Faith podcast, Ashley Thompson. Stay tuned for our conversation only on So Booking Cool.
Thank you for having me.
Hi, Ashley. Thank you for coming back. Wow.
Yes, thank you. I'm so excited to share more about Ella's Greatest Adventures.
Yes, absolutely. And with everything that has been going on, Ashley, between the pandemic, the social unrest, the upcoming election, how have you been managing these days? How has it been for you?
Yeah, so I know when it first started, I definitely took that opportunity to be more creative and explore more with Ella's Greatest Adventures. And with everything going on, me being an introvert, I learned to, protect my peace more because I guess being on social media, it could be kind of overwhelming just intaking all that information every day. So I just learned to balance my time and manage my time better with how much I take in every day. So it's been a struggle at first, but I think I'm doing just fine now.
Yeah, you hit on something that was so real and relatable, I feel. Do you think that with the quarantine life that, there have been struggles, of course, but do you think that it's also kind of been convenient for some people who identify as introverts?
Yeah, I definitely believe so. I know for me, I've definitely been able to be more creative, and so I think it definitely benefit me well. But then again, being a scientist, I still had to go into the lab, and so when we started experiencing more work in the lab, so it did have its downfalls because everyone wouldn't be able to work in the lab, so that would be more work on me. But just learning how to work during that time, it definitely helped me to grow as a person.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So you answered also one of my other questions, like how it has impacted you as a creative, and I love that you told us about how it has impacted you as a scientist as well.
Right.
Like, what is this time like for scientists, like with the COVID? Like, is there anything that you guys already know about it because of the field that you work in?
Well, the department I work in, it doesn't have much to do with COVID, but I do know I guess the culture, the working culture has definitely changed. Just going into the lab, I'm always checking my temperature before I walk into the building, and just being more wearing a mask. That's another example of having to wear a mask all the time while in the lab, and just being more cautious with our gloves and making sure we're safe when we're around each other. That's definitely made a impact.
Have you been thinking of any story ideas that relate to anything that has been going on at all?
I've definitely I think it definitely sparked some creativity. I just been jotting down some notes, like maybe it'll be like a story in the future, but yeah, it definitely gave me some ideas.
And speaking of, tell us about the Art of Joy and what sparked the idea for that.
Sure. So in this next adventure, Ella is she's going through this time is called the Art of Joy. And what happens in this adventure, she's learning how to overcome bullying. So one of her classmates in her art class, named Ramsey, bullies her. And Ella, she never really dealt with that before. So just learning how to have joy in that circumstance, and trusting in God, um, that's that's mainly what the story is about. And how I came up with that story, it kind of came from my childhood, because I didn't experience bullying all the time, but I did experience bullying a lot growing up. And so some of the things that Ella went through, it actually came from my childhood.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
What were some of these things that the crazy kids were bullying you about? If you want to share, like that.
Oh,
It's
no
just
problem. Yeah, no problem. Um, yeah, it was mostly I guess how I looked physically. They would pick at my physical appearance. And another thing I used to get picked on a lot was because of my voice. Of course I sound different. And so I used to get picked on a lot for that. And yeah, during that time I didn't know how to handle it, because I'm I guess I'm a nice person, so I didn't want to. I never knew how to react to what they were bullying me for, so I didn't really know what to do during that time. So I guess how I handled bullying was, I think that was the start of me starting to write in my journals. So that was the beginning of me actually writing, like writing out my feelings.
well, first of all, there's absolutely nothing wrong with your look or your voice. Like both are
Thank you.
just so great and amazing and unique. Like
Thank you.
people are just, yeah, no problem, no problem. So you were able to journal, so that's cool. So have you been journaling since then?
Yeah. Yeah, when I first started, I was just journaling throughout the day what was happening at school, and then that kind of sprung into me writing poetry, and then I just kind of continued with journaling since then.
And what kind of things were you journaling? Was it just like you talking about your thoughts or songs, stories?
Yeah, so in the beginning, I started off just mostly writing about my day, just writing how I felt, because I wanted to get my thoughts out for that day. And then I did start to write little stories here and there. I guess that was around like third grade, I would say. I started writing little stories. But yeah, I mostly just wrote in my journal every day.
And having written your first book, with Peace at the Dental Office, and
Hmm.
now being the author of, your next book and everything, did you approach this the same way that you approached Peace at the Dental Office at all?
Yeah, actually, because with Peace at the Dental Office, of course, I was inspired because I wanted to be a dentist. And so with the Art of Joy, I was at first I was looking at because joy is one of the fruits of the spirit in the Bible. And so I was looking at those scriptures. And then I guess I just started to think about myself. And I guess bullying came, that was the topic that came up for me. And then I started to look more into it. And then that's when um that's when the story started to come together.
And what did you learn? What have you learned so far about being a second time author?
Yeah, so I learned a lot from writing Peace at the Dental Office. The first thing, mostly because I am an introvert, just the marketing. I've learned that I have to I guess get out my comfort zone more, and just if I don't tell people about the book, then how else they're going to buy it. So I learned to speak up more and reach out to different communities to talk about Ella's greatest adventures, including like pop-up shops, because I also create jewelry for Ella, related to Ella's greatest adventures. So yeah, just learning how to speak up more. I think that makes a big difference with this second book.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a specific example that you can think of where you saw that speaking up and telling somebody about your book like made a difference? Does something come to mind?
Uh, I would say because when I first started with the first book, Peace at the Dental Office, because I am from South Carolina, it was easier at first to reach out to family and friends because they knew me, but because I currently live in North Carolina, I don't know too many people in this area, so I had to learn to I guess just to reach out to the local schools in my area in North Carolina, and also yeah, just reaching out to different people. That actually took me out of my comfort zone because I wasn't familiar with the area. So yeah, just learning to reach out to all the schools in this community, that helped.
And what has been the responses that you have gotten from schools in the community and everything about Ella McCutie and, the work that you're doing? Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah, a lot of them they really was interested in the concept and they wanted to learn more. And a lot of the schools they were interested in actually having me come and read Ella's Greatest Adventures. So I was pretty excited about that. And yeah, just learning to speak out, and it really brought a lot of good opportunities. But since the quarantine, I haven't been able to do so because a lot of the kids, they're not in school. So I'm now just learning to figure out a different way how to still get Ella's Greatest Adventures message across.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like with the virtually and stuff. What
Right.
what do you think about like book events happening online and stuff like that? What's your thought on it? Do you think it's better to be connected in person or is virtual good too? What do you think?
Well, I haven't had it too much experience with doing it virtually. I am looking for more opportunities to do so, but I guess I must say that during the time with before COVID, being able to go to the schools and connect with the students in person, that I think that was a greater impact. Just
Mhm.
them actually seeing me as an author, as a Black author, and reading these books to them that I was able to create. I think that made a greater impact.
Right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What are some observations that you have made about children's publishing when it comes to characters of color and Black characters?
And when you say publishing, could you give an example of that?
Oh yeah, sure. Just like anything like with children's books, like in the children's book world, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Like, is that something that you keep up with? And
I haven't been able to like keep up with that, but I guess my personal experience, I haven't had any trouble with in that area. I guess mostly because I've been doing direct publishing myself, self-publishing myself. So I haven't reached out to any of the like major publishing companies to really experience that.
right, right. But
Mm-hmm.
but do you notice like any trends you think like trends within the children's book world or anything?
I haven't noticed any. No.
I know
Mm-hmm.
children, they really like Would you say Ella McCutie is like an animal character or both? How would you describe? Those who don't know.
Well, originally, I did get the inspiration that she is more of a cat, but I wanted to make sure that she still was like represented, that she reflected like me. So I wanted her to have like black features. So that's why I gave her like the afro puffs, and just made her like more African American.
And what influences the voices, you know, in your stories?
I guess for Ella, she represents I guess more of what I wish I was when I was growing up, because I was more I guess I was more shy growing up, and she's like the opposite of that. Like when she wears her faith bracelet, she has more confidence, and she also has a strong relationship with God. So she's able to face these challenges, and just be really confident about that. And that's what I wanted for children that may be just like how I was growing up. I would just want them to have confidence as they go through different challenges as they grow up in today's time.
And why is it important for children to have confidence?
I think it's very important for children to have confidence because I say, like, for me, I think if I had the confidence that I have now, just growing up, I think I would have like a greater impact in my community. Just being a child, like a child, they have so much influence. If you look at different social media pages, a lot of children, they have pages now, and they influence a lot of people that follow them, but in a lot of them, they also have confidence. And so I think confidence, it just helps with your development as you grow into an adult. And yeah, I just think you could do a lot when you're confident, and you're able to bring others up as well that follows you.
Yeah. And besides reading like wonderful books like yours, what are some ways that you think children and even adults as well, you know, because like you notice, we all need it. What do you think are steps that people can take to just try to get a little bit more confidence every day or every week, or how often should we be looking for it even?
Yeah, I think just looking for confidence every day, that's very important. I know for me, as an adult, I get my confidence from reading through different scriptures that empower me, and then I also I try to pay more attention to what I intake, my mental intake. So I take more breaks from social media. I try not to take all of that in every day. And I also listen to a lot of podcasts. That helps me, especially when I'm working in the lab. Just listening to other business-like people or faith-like people, their stories, that helped me a lot. And as a child, I think their influence could come greatly from different television shows that they watch, or from YouTube. YouTube is a big thing, so just making sure that they look at the right kind of YouTube video channels that could help build confidence as well.
Oh, I love that. Oh, I love that. Speaking of confidence, what led to you launching your own podcast, Everyday Adventures in Faith?
Right. Yeah. So that actually started as because I love podcasts. And I just love to listen to other people's stories as well. I figured that well, I could also help in bringing in more people's stories into the podcast arena, and so I figured that I could also start my podcast, and I was actually also inspired by you because I really enjoyed that you reach out to different authors and uh, just everybody in the writing community, just how you showcase everyone's stories. I really enjoyed that about you, and so I wanted to start my own, and then also it was a way for me to get out my comfort zone again, and just learning how to continue to use my voice because I was starting to get comfortable with just going to reaching out to different schools and sharing Ella's greatest adventures. And I wanted to continue that. And so I thought actually starting a podcast, that's a great way for me to continue to develop and just use my voice.
Well, thank you so much for that, Leah.
You're,
I appreciate that.
you're welcome.
And I love that, you just with you, yeah, you can't help but think like that is so much a part of your brand, like the faith and overcoming fears and the fun and stuff. Like
Right.
you're a great person to put that message out there.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. You really are.
Thank you.
What was it like working with Cristine Evaristo again for The Art of Joy?
Yeah, so it was actually great. I was already working on some stories, just writing them down in my notebook, and I believe she reached out to me. I think just to just checking on me, and I told her, I said, "Oh, I actually have a story that I think you'll be good for," and it actually worked out because in the first adventure, Peace at the Dental Office, she was actually in school, and so she was doing illustrations for me in her free time. But in this second book, The Art of Joy, she had more free time from her studies, so she was more available to work on this book with me. But yeah, it was great because I was able to share the concept with her, and yeah, it just like the first adventure, it was pretty straightforward. I just gave her my ideas, and she was able to work with me and create these great illustrations for me.
And what should authors look for in illustrators?
Yeah, so for me, when I found Cristine, um, it definitely helped to have someone that they don't have to have the same beliefs as you, but at least for me, it helped a lot because it was just easier to work with her because she's of the same faith as I am, so it was able to for her to grasp the same concept that I was trying to put on paper. And then also, I think it's important that the illustrator is able to communicate well. I think communication is very important, whether you're talking through email or phone, because you're going to be going back and forth, and you want to be able to say that you're on the same page. So communication is very important. And I guess getting a person that's able to draw in different styles. I really like that Cristine, she could draw the way I want, the way I like her to for Ella's Greatest Adventures. But if you look at her whole portfolio, she's able to adapt to so many different art styles, which is great for if I have a different idea for another kind of book, she's able to adapt to that. And so I just like how she's able to be flexible, and I think that's very important if you're looking for an illustrator.
And speaking of flexibility and other kinds of books, do you see yourself writing like a middle grade novel or a YA novel or maybe even an adult's book ever?
I did think about that, but I guess right now, I'm so focused with Ella. I really like this age group that I'm in, but
Yeah.
I never know what the future may hold. Maybe.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. And on that note, Ashley Thompson, everyone. Ashley, thank you for taking time, out of your day to come back on So Booking Cool. I've been really excited for it and glad that you wanted to come back.
Mhm.
And how can everybody keep up with you and the great work that you're doing and stay connected and updated?
Thank you. Well, I'm super excited to be on here again and just continue to share my story in Ella's Greatest Adventure story. But if you're interested in learning more about Ella, then on social media, on all social media, including Instagram, Facebook, just go to @Ella's Greatest Adventures. And you can also check out the website, ellasgreatestadventures.com, if you want to become an adventurer and just stay up to date with what's gonna happen next with Ella. And
Yeah.
yep, that's it.
Yes, and you have the products, the jewelry as you mentioned, and
Yes.
the clothing.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm pretty excited. Ella's Greatest Adventures is just going to keep growing, and I'm here for it.
Exactly. Yes, it is going to keep growing. That's right.
Yes.
You better speak that into existence. It is.
Yes.
It's already like really making an impact.
Yes.
So,
thank you.
no problem. And thank you to all the listeners. Until next time, So Booking Cool.